9 days after Putin ordered the invasion, Russian troops have continued to attack key Ukrainian cities, killing at least 47 civilians in Chernihiv, north of Kyiv, while continuing to lay siege to residential areas in Mariupol, Kharkiv in the northeast and Borodyanka in central Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin also stepped up a crackdown on media outlets reporting on the war, blocking Facebook and Twitter, and signing into law a bill that criminalizes the intentional spreading of what Moscow deems to be fake reports. Medics unsuccessfully try to save the life of Marina Yatsko's 18-month-old son Kirill, who was wounded by shelling in Mariupol on Friday. The move against the social media giants followed blocks imposed on the BBC, the US government-funded Voice of America, and German broadcaster Deutsche Welle, while establishing even tighter controls over what information the domestic audience sees about the invasion of Ukraine. Meanwhile, Australia's Prime Minister Scott Morrison spoke with Ukrainian President Zelensky on Saturday night about possible ways in which Australia and the international community could assist further against Russia's aggression and unprovoked assault. Zelensky told Morrison he was deeply concerned about Russia's actions against Ukraine's nuclear facilities. The Ukrainian leader has increased his criticism of NATO's refusal to create a no-fly zone over Ukraine, saying the alliance had given Russia the green light to continue its bombing campaign. NATO on Friday rejected Kyiv's request to establish a no-fly zone over Ukraine amid fears that it could drag Western countries into direct military conflict with Russia. Zelensky said the NATO gathering was weak and confused, and said the alliance knew that further Russian aggression was likely. He accused the body of having blood on its hands. All the people who die starting today will also die because of you. Because of your weakness, because of your disconnection, Zelensky said. Today the leadership of the alliance gave the green light for further bombing of Ukrainian cities and villages, refusing to make a no-fly zone. Zelensky, who has been the subject of several foiled assassination attempts from Russian-backed mercenaries, posted a video on his official Instagram refuting suspected Kremlin-backed reports he had fled the country. Zelensky posted another video, "I haven't fled Kyiv. Every 2 days information comes out that I have fled somewhere, fled from Ukraine, from Kyiv, from my office. As you can see, I am here in my place. Nobody has fled anywhere. Here, we are working," he said. "We like jogging, but now we don't have time for that, for various cardio exercises," he joked. Working. Glory to Ukraine. An attack at Zaporizhzhia, Europe's largest nuclear facility, was condemned by Western leaders and raised the prospect of widening the war. No army has previously attacked an active nuclear facility. About 150 kilometers from the power plant, life was eerily normal in Ukraine's fourth-largest city, Dnipro. The city was once one of the world's most important centers of Jewish culture and civilization, and still has a significant proportion of the population with Jewish ancestry. Despite war raging just 200 kilometers north in Kharkiv and 85 kilometers south where the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is located, snow-covered Dnipro has yet to be attacked. A reserve major in Ukraine's armed forces said he wasn't sure whether Russia would attack Dnipro in the coming days, but the city and the military were prepared to defend it. But he feared for the civilians in the city who had no training in how to fight. Today the problem is, the enemy could be from the sky because there could be bombing or missiles, he said. Here in the city, there are my friends and family who are not military, they have no helmet or ballistic vests. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said more support in the form of military hardware was on its way, but said the West's responsibility was to prevent the war from escalating beyond Ukraine. Because that would be even more dangerous, more devastating, and would cause even more human suffering, Stoltenberg said. Here in the city, there are my friends and family who are not military, they have no helmet or ballistic vests. Ukrainian Major, Dnipro. More than 22 NATO nations and a handful of others have said they will send military assistance to Ukraine, including anti-tank missiles, artillery ammunition, and Stinger surface-to-air missiles, but the delivery of weapons donated by the West across the borders has been slowed in recent days, with Poland, Slovakia, Hungary and Romania providing the only access. But east-west roads that can handle truck transport are clogged with refugees fleeing the country. Amid evident fears that a wider world war might be triggered accidentally, the Pentagon on Friday confirmed that it had established a new hotline with Russia's Ministry of Defense to prevent miscalculation, military incidents and escalation in the region. Hours before Mariupol was given a chance to evacuate civilians, Boychenko said the city of 400,000 residents was without water, heat or electricity, and was running out of food. "We are simply being destroyed," he said in a televised appeal. "They want to wipe Mariupol and Mariupol residents off the face of the earth." Loading British Prime Minister Boris Johnson warned that radioactive clouds could spread over Europe if the West does not act following Russia's unprecedented assault on a nuclear power plant. Russia has claimed it had retaken Hostomel Airport, a strategic target for the Kremlin since the war began, but a British Defence Intelligence update said there was renewed fighting around the airfield at the front end of the 60-kilometre-long Russian armoured convoy that has become bogged down en route to the capital.